For this Madden tips video breakdown, we're going to take a look at a route combo that's really popular as far as attacking zone coverage, and it's one that a lot of us probably already know what it is, but if you're not familiar with the corner streak combo, this is definitely a route combination you should be using against zone coverage. Before we actually hit the field, I want to go ahead and show you the offensive and the defensive plays that I'm going to go ahead and use for this video breakdown, just in case you're following along. So on the offensive side of things, I'm going to go ahead and call this play right here. It's called gun tight bench. I feel like this is probably one of the best plays that you can run the corner streak combination with, because if you look at it, it's got mirror pass routes, specifically the corner routes, because obviously we're going to change those out routes into streaks. But just know this is probably one of the better plays to run this particular route combination from on the offensive side of things. And on the defensive side, we want to run this play right here. It's called dime 2-3 cover 4 palm. So if you're following along, this is the defense that I'm using. Now keep in mind, I'm not making any type of coaching adjustments. This is just vanilla as far as with this. So there are some things you can do with this particular play in particular that you can actually defend this. But for now, that'll be for another video breakdown. But for now, let's just go ahead and use this on the defensive side of things. Now, one of the things you got to realize when you run this is where the ball is placed at before you snap it. In this case, as you look at it, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, and I want you guys to see that it's lined up right here. The ball's placed right here on the left hash mark, and so it's to the near side of the field. So when you think of the word near, it's to the nearest boundary, which is going to be this one right over here, the sideline. So when you run this, that really makes a difference on how you run it. So for me, and I think most of us, what we're going to do is we want to hot route these two outside receivers on streaks. I'm going to show you why as we go through this. So the first one I'm going to go ahead and hot route is the receiver on the left on a streak. And then I also want to hot route the receiver on the right on the streak. Now we're back to those mirror pass routes. And I've done breakdowns on mirror pass routes as well. If you haven't had a chance, just Google it and you'll find them, or go to the MaddenGuides.com site and you'll find it there. But at any rate, this is what a mirror pass routes. You got two streaks on the outside. You've got two corner routes to the inside. Now, this particular receiver, the one that's the primary receiver, which happens to be Diggs, his corner route's just a little bit different than the one that Knox is running on the other side, but they're both going to be effective. This one here on the left, I feel like probably a little more effective. Now, the cool thing with this is you can motion one receiver, and then on the other side, you don't have to. So on this side of the thing, if you look at it, with the ball on this side of the field on the left, this receiver right here, as you're looking at it, does not need to be motioned. But the other receiver on the other side here who's running the streak, we do want to motion them to the outside. And I'm going to show you why here as we go through this. So I'm going to motion him out over to the right. So let me go ahead and do that first before I actually snap the ball. Now, I'm not going to look to throw to this particular receiver first. This is the one running the corner out over there. I'm not going to look to throw to him, at least initially. I'm going to go ahead and look to throw to Diggs right there. So let's go ahead and run the play, and I'll show you why this play is so effective here as we go through it here. And right there, you can see clearly that he gets wide open. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to go into the X and O's of this play, and I'll show you a little bit more as we run it. Okay, now that we're in instant replay, I can kind of walk you through a little more of the X and O's of the play. Now, as you look at it, as I've already pointed out, this receiver here has been hot routed on the streak. And then this receiver here to the inside is running this corner route. Now, the idea of this is, against this particular coverage here, this cover 4 palms coverage, is this defender here is actually going to run to cover this streak. He's not going to break off over here. And that's only because the ball is lined up to the near side or the left hash mark. So what he's going to do, he's going to go back here and cover this guy. And the same thing's going to happen here. This defender right here, the safety, is going to drop back as well. And then ultimately what this is going to end up doing as you watch this particular play, it's going to go ahead and allow this receiver, which is Diggs, who's running that corner route, once he breaks up, he's going to get the separation into this area here, and there's going to be some spacing that's going to allow us to go ahead and drop our quarterback back and find him open. So what we're going to do, as I mentioned, we're going to drop the quarterback, and then we're just going to look down the field, and if we see cover 4, then that's going to tell us that we're probably going to have this guy open. And to be honest with you, this particular route combination run works against cover 2 and cover 3 as well. And then we can just go ahead and make this throw deep down the field and complete it for a big play, such as what you just saw earlier as I ran through it. And right there again, you can see what I was talking about. So if we go rewind it just a little bit and we zoom in, let's rewind it just a little bit. Right there, if you look at it, you can clearly see that this corner is actually going over here to cover that receiver running the streak. And then you can see that Diggs is running that corner routes wide open. Now, this other defender, which is going to be this one right here, he's supposed to be playing a curl flat, I believe, or something like that, curl seam, whatever he's playing. He doesn't get far enough depth to drop. Now, that comes back into some things you can do to defend this later on in another video breakdown. We'll talk about that. But just know that corner route, that corner streak combination to the near side is real effective out of the gun tight. Now, the same thing can be said with this. Let's go back over here again and motion this guy to the outside. We'll put both these guys on streaks. And even this receiver to the inside right here, as you look at it, who's running this corner route over right here, he will be open as well, but not quite as open. There's not going to be as big of a window, and so you're kind of a little bit more risky with this one, but he will be open where you can make that throw. Right there, it actually gets knocked out, but you can see that he's open. It's just not quite as effective. Now, one thing I do want to point out as I run this, I'm going to run it one more time here. You can smart route him and try to make his corner route a little bit shorter and then have some of the same success. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I would probably look more to throw to Diggs on the left than I would on the right, but I just wanted to show that to you because the cool thing is if your opponent's trying to take this away, and he might manually try to go ahead and take this away from you, and he may manually go ahead and defend it. Say he takes control of this safety and he tries to take that away, then you can always look over to the right and you have that option as well. So this particular route combination, as I've already talked about, is pretty darn effective against pretty much all the zone coverages in the game. It's something you should be adding if you're not already done it. And again, I think most of us out there already know about this route combination. For those of you guys who are new to Madden, this is a worthy route combination if you're looking to attack zone coverage. It's called corner streak.